All right, hello. I'm just gonna start off and preface this video by saying I'm quite sick, so might hear some coughing or some wheezing in this. Uh, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So on the agenda today, I've got Ukraine, got some tanks. Russia tried to call a truce, so that was also I just mentioned that. Parks Canada bought out some businesses in Jasper Park, helped the Caribou, and there was recently a solar flare that happened in the Oceania region. So first and foremost, I'm going to go on to the Ukraine tank situation. So Russia called a ceasefire for 36 hours for Orthodox Christmas, and yes, they called it a trap because I mean they killed people on New Year's Eve, so they don't care. They're not falling for it. But yeah. So the French Defense Ministry is arranging to deliver and train Ukrainian soldiers on one of their tanks that they're going to be giving, or one of the types. I don't know how much they're giving there, but so the type of tank is a AMX-10 RC. I'll have pictures of each because I'll be talking about a couple tanks here. I'll have pictures of each. So this is a reconnaissance tank. It's a little bit more lightweight. It's armored enough for light infantry. It's got wheels instead of tracks like on the bottom, so apparently that allows for better movement. So that's cool. I guess it's probably one of the first like more heavy tanks that they really have, because they don't really have that many tanks. Because they want the big boys, they want the big boy tanks, but they don't really have any. Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, thanked France on Twitter for that stuff. So that's good. They've been seeking, like I said, they've been looking for bigger tanks. So like the Abrams from the U.S. and the German Leopards, German Leopard 2 specifically, actually. And I'll put some pictures again, like I said. The Czech Republic and Poland actually provided some T-72 Soviet-era tanks, so that's good, giving some tanks. They need it. Biden has been considering sending in some Bradley fighting vehicles, which is just for troop transport. It's just armored vehicles. It always helps, right? Anything helps. Germany actually said they didn't want to provide Leopard 2 tanks for the simple reason that nobody else has given Ukraine that caliber of tanks. So they're like, no, we're not going to give you that. Nobody else is. Why would we do that? So I guess if somebody else gives them good tanks, then Germany might step in and be like, all right, I'll give you guys some tanks. But as it currently stands, they're like, I'm not going to be the only country giving them the good tanks. Britain hasn't given them any tanks, but they have given over 200 armored vehicles, which is pretty nice. Good for your troops. That's pretty much all I had on that section. They're getting tanks. They're trying to get stronger tanks, and they refused a truce with Russia, which is it is what it is. They think it's a trap. Moving on, we've got Parks Canada. So they bought out two companies in Jasper Park in the Tonquin Valley, specifically, or Tonkin. Not 100% sure how to say that, but it's a they brought out Tonkin Valley Adventures and Tonkin Valley Backcountry Lodge, which is they're both backcountry lodges basically. They said it was a good step forward, and this is Alberta's Wilderness Association that said that. For those who don't know, I probably put it already, but it was at Jasper Park. I put it on the map. It's like on the edge of BC and Alberta, so it's on the west side of Canada. But yeah, they got rid of those. Apparently, those areas are crucial habitats for some of the Jasper's caribous. They kind of walk around in that area, so having businesses gone will have less people in that area and enable the caribou to hopefully do better. Because according to them, the caribous aren't doing that well in that area. So there's 4 different herds, I guess, in the Jasper Park, and the Tonkin herd has 9 breeding females, and the herd in total has like 50 people, and they said it wasn't big enough to like make it spread properly. So that's the biggest Jasper herd, which is kind of sad because the other ones, it says one is down to 9 members. One hasn't been seen, and I'm not really sure what it said about the other one. It's just wolves attacked it, I guess. they're AWOL, I guess. They just don't know where they are. So you thought they'd have trackers or something, but I guess you can't track every single one. But yeah, as I said prior, the both businesses were good caribou breeding land for calving, rearing, rutting, all that sort of stuff. So it's it's gonna stop deterring them from prime habitat and maybe have them deal less with predators, which is good. Park Canada is slowly even closing different winter accesses in the Tonquin area to allow this breeding and the caribou to be alone. And not only the caribou, they were also talking about grizzly bears. They want to improve grizzly bears as well, I guess. But they still want humans to be able to enjoy the area and participate in nature, which is I'm all for it. So the new breeding program, though, that they wanted to step out and put out is a park manages a $25 million project. They're not 100% sure they're going to be doing it. They're supposed to make the decision sometime in the beginning of this year, so 2023. Looking forward to that hopefully happening. But the idea is to permanently pen up 40 females and 5 males in a highly managed and controlled area of 1 square kilometer with an electric fence and just really force breeding. So maybe that'll work out, increase our caribou numbers. Caribous are a very cool species. They look nice. They're strong. They're useful. So yeah, that's pretty much all it is. They just want to make a breeding program, and hopefully that happens. The solar flare is the biggest ones ever recorded were like 20 or 40, or like there was a 40 that wasn't aimed at Earth, and like we got hit by a 20 or something, but this one wasn't that big. It was an X 1.2. So like I said, it's the biggest category, but it's like very, very little. But a M can produce like a minor radio blackout, I guess. So X can do small blackouts, so like huge blackouts, I guess, if it's aimed at the Earth, whichever side of the Earth is aiming towards the sun while it happens, if that sunspot is also aiming towards Earth. But a sunspot is basically just magnetic energy that builds up, and then it basically goes boom. So it's too much magnetic energy that's pent up on itself. It's typically on an 11-year cycle, so like basically every 11 years the north and south pole of like the sun basically flips on itself, and every time that kind of starts flipping, it creates sunspots in certain areas that kind of create a bunch of solar flares that blow up because it's destabilizing itself, and then it restabilizes in the opposite way, and then it unstabilizes, it restabilizes. So apparently we're currently on so these are called solar cycles, and apparently we're on the 25th one, so I don't know if that's when they started recording it or what. But as we currently stand, apparently we have an angle of each side of the sun, so we can predict, and if one was going to hit us that was strong, we could see it coming. So there's a solar minimum and solar maximum. Solar maximum is during the cycle when there's like the most sunspots, and that's where shit blows up basically. And then the minimums is when it's very calm and nothing's really going on, which is on average a typical cycle of 11 years, like I said. But this one's basically going to be a 6-year maximum, I guess. It's usually it's around 8 to 14 years is the thing for solar minimums and maximums, and this one's basically 6. I say by the 2025, it should be the end of the maximum. So we might get bigger solar flares. But yeah, so Oceania got hit the hardest. And this is how we also get Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis. So the Borealis ones are in the north, Australis are in the south, obviously. Some people might not know that. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, they got hit by that, caused a couple radio blackouts, minor stuff. But yeah, like I said, it was a small one, so it wasn't really that much of a problem. But that's all I really want to talk about today, and hope you guys are feeling better than I am, and you guys have a good one. Peace.